Get a Job in Tech, episode 198, How to Run a Better Meeting. Some meetings can be inefficient and ineffective. The team members view these as a waste of time, and their time can be spent actually doing better or actually doing work, more different work. And sometimes these meetings have an effect on individuals' psyche, if you will, of the company. Have you ever been in a meeting where you have to drive 3-4 hours, 2 hours, whatever, just to go to a meeting that you don't even need to be there? Well, we're going to talk about a couple different techniques that you could use to hold a better meeting. First thing is you need a meeting agenda. Okay. Everyone has to have a meeting agenda. A well-run meeting begins with an informative agenda. This is informative. This is very structured. This includes a brief description of the items covered, to the time allocated for each item, and who will be involved in the discussion. If a key decision is expected from the meeting or some other key outcome is desired, include this in the agenda. The second one, what should a meeting cover? The individual holding the meeting should note all people in attendance, all missing, and anyone included as a proxy on behalf of another person going to the meeting. The person holding the meeting should also review open items. This is effectively a review of the previous meetings, action items, things like that didn't get discovered or didn't get resolved, for other previous meetings, and communicate these items that have been closed prior to the meeting to the team separately, as they do not require a lengthy discussion in the meeting. Another one is dictate or talk about how often should a meeting be held. Sometimes they could be held every week, every 2 weeks, every month. And the person who's in charge of this basically should be able to report with up-to-date information to the individuals, the clients, so that the meeting should be conducted regularly. Often depends on several factors, including project complexity, size of the team, that's important, and the level of information required by individuals. The next one, facilitating is different than leading a meeting. So basically what that means is facilitating, meaning putting it together, is different than actually leading the meeting. Some individuals some leaders feel comfortable leading a meeting, but leading a meeting differs from facilitating it. A meeting facilitator guides the group towards its goals by focusing on processes the group will use to achieve desired outcomes. The meeting leader, or the person holding the meeting essentially, often focuses on what, while the facilitator often focuses on the how. So when the individual holding the meeting can designate someone as a facilitator, they often need to wear both hats. There are specific facilitation tasks that a leader can perform or delegate to make the meeting more efficient. So some of these include an individual keeping track of time. So this would be the person actually conducting the meeting. This would be another individual whose job it is to facilitate the meeting. So this would be keeping track of the time, alerting the team if a discussion gets off topic, which is very common, documenting action items, and developing they call it tabling. You're going to table something for the next meeting. Asking questions of those not contributing to the discussion, and someone who plays the other side, basically says something like, what if this happened, or what if that happened? Another one for a meeting is don't get sidetracked. This is the biggest challenge that every person who holds a meeting faces. It's because to stay focused on key issues. Everyone seems to have what they call a soapbox, if you will, that they love to discuss in detail, whether it's their own agenda or not. These, we're going to call them outburst or something like that, that they, it can basically, it can take up a lot of time and can cause the meeting to go late. I've been in many of these, and they can interrupt the discussion and the resolution issues that are on the agenda. The team members can kind of trouble the person holding the meeting. We'll call them the meeting lead, if you will, right? They can try a couple different techniques that'll help maintain focus during the meeting. So basically ask someone on the team to raise their hand or otherwise point out where the discussion or point out, raise their hand and point out when the discussion is veering off topic. Question whether the issues raised can be taken offline. Maybe they can table it. They call it tabling it, basically. And some individuals actually use a timer. They have maybe their phone, it has a timer on it that they say, okay, we want to stick on an agenda for this particular time, and maybe it's a 2-minute timer, 5-minute timer, whatever. Let's go to the next topic. And redirect issues for tabling for another time, basically. And something like saying, hey, let's move on. And some of these meetings, they could go, I'm talking about meetings that you could be in a 2-hour meeting. And imagine if you don't have an agenda, and let's say the team leader, if you will, or the meeting leader doesn't have an agenda, you could quickly go off a topic, and you could waste 2 hours of people's time, essentially. So thanks a lot. I want to see you in the next one.